Hello everyone, I am your host Steven Avalos alongside my dad.
Hello.
And my good friend Marissa.
Hi.
She's back!
Again.
2 weeks in a row!
Yes, getting some consistency here. We really like it. We love it. And anyways though...
In fact, we're even thinking of moving down to Monterey just so we were able to continue podcasting. Because that's where you're going to school, right?
Yep.
Right on.
It's still remote, possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to move down there? Okay. It's out there.
No.
Okay.
San Francisco.
We could leave Larry here.
Larry? No.
Larry is a cat.
Yes. We mentioned Larry before here, and so people should know who Larry is by now. If they don't, then stop listening. But anyways, though, we'll just get straight to it, talking about the NBA playoffs. The conference finals are underway, but to summarize how the conference semifinals went, Atlanta pulled off a really big upset on the Philadelphia 76ers. It was really nice to watch. It went 7 games. Down to the wire pretty much the whole time, and I'm just really happy for Atlanta, and it's really impressive what they've been doing in these playoffs.
Yeah, I expected the Sixers to go a lot farther, but their go-to player Simmons didn't decide not to show up.
Yeah, no, he really didn't show up, especially in the fourth quarter. Embiid had a good series, and then Seth Curry as well. Seth Curry has been a pretty good contributor to the 76ers, but, just outside of that, not many people were doing their job.
I would be very surprised if Simmons even came back next year.
No.
The way he abandoned the team in the fourth quarter, he took 0 shots in games 4, 5, 6, and 7
and then
in the fourth quarter.
In Game 7, there was one where he was right under the hoop and he passed it.
Yeah, he was scared to get fouled, yet he had a slam dunk if he wanted.
Yeah, it was ugly all around, but overall, I'm really happy. Atlanta has definitely been the Cinderella story of these playoffs so far.
Now, if Simmons became available to the Warriors, would you like him? Would you take him?
He'd have to be on the bench, and even then, I don't know if because he still had to be efficient. Because that's one thing the Warriors have always needed is people that can come from the bench and score immediately.
Yeah, well, we talked about it earlier, and I said he would be perfect to end the first and third quarter and to start the second and fourth quarters because no pressure. I mean, you don't have to worry about finishing a game. Free throws aren't that, while they're all important, they're not as prevalent, I should say. And I think it would take a great load off his shoulders. But his contract, I think, is pretty big. So
I'd rather go for a superstar with the picks we have right now because with having the 7th and 14th pick, you can easily trade up in the draft or trade for a star that you already know will be good.
Do you know who's available?
Not yet, but that'll be something that we can talk about in another episode, like a more Warriors central episode.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. But anyways, though, Milwaukee beat the Brooklyn Nets in 7 games as well. That one was pretty sad to watch. I don't like Harden or Irving that much. I'm still a fan of Durant. I know people will say otherwise, because of the way he left the Warriors. It definitely still bummed me out as well. I won't deny that. But I still really like the way he played and how he put the team on his back for many of those games. Because other guys
not according to Scottie Pippen.
Oh, yeah. We'll talk about that in a minute. But the other guys really did not show, especially Joe Harris. He played like a bum.
He's a bum.
He just wasn't accountable at all, even when he was wide open. And Harden was playing on one leg. Irving got hurt. And so, there was other guys just weren't doing their job.
Yeah, had they had their full ensemble of superstars.
Oh, they would have won too easily.
They would have won pretty easily. But they didn't, and they lost.
And to bring context to what my dad mentioned about Scottie Pippen, so Pippen was talking about how he wasn't a team player and that someone like LeBron would have won in that situation. But then Durant shot back at him saying, well, aren't you the guy that actually quit on the team because he wasn't involved in the final play?
Yeah. And speaking of which, we were watching Pardon the Interruption, very popular show. And I'm going to call Mike Wilbon out right now. And Mike, if you happen to listen to our podcast, I'm going to call you out. I think you're a bum as well for not calling out Scottie Pippen for what he said to Durant. Instead, he said he didn't want to talk about it at all. which that's not your job. Your job isn't to buddy up with a former player of yours who came from Chicago, which a city you represent. You should just do your job and henceforth.
Yeah, it was pretty bad to watch, and I wasn't really paying that much attention. But one thing he kept saying, "I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to get into it," and then they went like a minute over the time that's set up for them on each topic. So it's just like you keep saying that, but you're still talking. So it wasn't fun to listen to.
So Pippen, Wilbon, you're on my shit list.
No,
I'm just saying.
well,
Yeah, I said it.
We already talked about the Phoenix last time because they ended their series pretty early, but then we got Utah and the LA Clippers. That was pretty disappointing. Utah had a 2-0 lead, and then what do you call it? What would you say? Clean the table or something? Run the table.
Run the table.
Yeah. What do you call it? That's what the Clippers did right there. They just dominated even without Kawhi Leonard. And honestly, a lot of that has to fall on Utah, just not being able to win outside of Donovan Mitchell. Just again, same thing with some other series. One guy's able to do his job, but no one else is.
Well, you know what amazed me?
It's way too common too. People got to realize that it's nice to have a superstar, but you also have to have a great cast around them.
But what amazed me about the Clippers, and it's not really amazed me about the Clippers, is that Beverly is allowed to mug any person that he guards.
Yeah.
With impunity. And I don't understand that, because anytime they would play the Warriors, he would hold them, grab them, foul them for the entire time, because Curry would run around all over the court, and Beverly would just physically harass him, and no calls. And he did the same thing with Mitchell, and he's doing the same thing right now with Booker.
It's pretty much the equivalent of a sibling being like, "Oh, I'm not touching you," and they have their hand right on your face. So "Oh, I'm not touching you though." That's what he is, and it's really annoying and it's sickening.
He's a gnat. I think I would compare him to a gnat.
It's sickening how the league allows it, especially how much he harasses refs with constantly complaining. You would think that they'd be tired of it and call more on him just to get him to stop doing that as well. It makes zero sense how they let him get away with it, and also how he flops as well. If anyone retaliates on him, he starts flying around as if he was weightless.
So we have 4 teams left.
Yes. So. What do you call it? Atlanta and Milwaukee. Their game 2 is today, but Atlanta is up 1-0. They had
took the first one.
Yeah, and again, a lot of the game they were down a little bit, and actually no, they were up a bit for much of the game, but fourth quarter they were down.
Yeah,
and then they took it back in the very end. That was really surprising, but I'm still happy for Atlanta. They're a team that I would like to see win it all.
We have the Clippers and Suns.
Suns, I usually want them to win that.
I think the Suns are going to win that one.
But Booker's got to play better. He hasn't played that well in the last 2 games.
He got busted up in the face, so he had a mask on, which had a little bit to do with it.
Yeah, but still, you got to, superstars, they find ways.
Marissa, who do you like in the series?
I'm
putting you on the spot right now.
Well, I'm gonna root
Suns, Clippers. Who do you like?
Yeah, Suns, because someone in Arizona has to win. Some Arizona sport has to win.
And is that a requirement?
Yes, because the poor people in Arizona have to watch the Diamondbacks lose every game.
Good point.
And then for Atlanta and Milwaukee, I guess I gotta go with Atlanta too, just for the underdog thing.
There you go.
Always root for the underdogs.
Underdog Central.
Yeah, like I wouldn't mind if Milwaukee wins it all, but my problem is that I feel like so much of that they've earned, well, actually lack thereof, saying that they've earned anything, is it feels like they just take advantage of other people making mistakes. You know what I mean? It's like there's so many times they don't seem like the team that should have won, but the other team just screwed up more. Kind of like with the Nets, they should have won that series, but things just kept going the wrong way for the Nets.
Yeah.
So it's kind of frustrating to watch when you see a team that didn't exactly do what they can to win and yet still make it through.
Yeah, well, Milwaukee seems to always shoot themselves in the foot. Giannis, I don't understand him as a player. People
are frustrated that he's still that they've been allowing him to take more than enough time to shoot his free throws, because I think they've been like trying to give him some space, even though the rule is that if you take over 10 seconds, it's null. Nullified.
And
no. What?
Is that all you have for the playoffs?
Unless you got anything else to say, that's pretty much all I got.
Do you think of any kind of trades the Warriors might want to make? Well, we'll
yet.
get into that. We'll get into that next week.
Yeah, we'll find another time to talk about that. But right now, like I said, I said it before, my dream scenario right now for the finals is Atlanta and Phoenix. That's what I would like to see. I don't want to see the Clippers. That's the team I do not want to see win out of those four, the Clippers. Okay, so now moving on to baseball, we're just going to go over how every team has been doing so far, going through every division and such. So, yeah, would you like to kick this off?
Yeah, we're going to go both the American and National League Eastern divisions, where we got the Tampa Bay Rays, 3-7 out of the last 10. They are a half game ahead of the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah, they won their last game, and that was a pretty wild one because they were getting no hit for a while, and then Kevin Kiermaier got a Kevin Kiermaier double. Mm-hmm. It was a typical single for anyone else, but he stretched that into a double. But eventually, they won that game 1-0 on a wild pitch, so now they lead the division. But then you got to feel concerned if you're a fan of them because they're 3-7 in the last 10 and they barely have a lead.
But
yeah. Oh, go ahead, Marissa.
They have Wander Franco now.
Yeah,
that's their number one guy.
He had a really nice debut, but too bad they just could not win.
He's a rookie?
Okay. Yeah, mm-hmm. Yeah, he just came in.
The number one prospect, I think, in all of baseball.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he started, was it 3 for 5 or something like that?
I watched his first
It was really good.
And he went 0-2 to 3-2 and walked. So he's just, I don't know, he's got the patience to be a big leaguer.
Yeah, patience is something that's really important for rookies because, a lot of them tend to come in really antsy and strike out a lot. So for him to be able to show some patience this early is a really good sign. But of course, backtracking is just as easy as well for some players.
Yeah, I think the only time you don't want to show patience is if you're in a hospital.
Oh. Okay.
Left field.
What? Yeah. Okay. Dad joke.
Anyways, Jacob. Boston Red Sox. They've been kind of mediocre in their last 10 as well, 5-5, only a half game behind the Tampa Bay Rays. It's kind of weird looking at the East right now, just seeing how lots of teams have not been doing that well besides the Yankees, which I really hate to see.
Yeah, the Yankees are 7-3 in their last 10.
But they're still 4 games back.
And Baltimore Orioles bringing up the rear, 1-9 in their last 10. Woo. And they're 21.5 games out.
Blue Jays are 3 games above 500, so they're not doing too bad either, but it just doesn't seem like any of them have been hot lately besides New York, which I hate to see. I hate seeing home runs towards right field. That
little fence.
Their dimensions are such a joke with how that stadium is built.
That's the way everybody can take advantage of it, though.
But they get it the most.
Yeah.
And they you can tell they always push the ball. But
we're going to National League East now.
Yep. I always like watching the Mets just because of mainly DeGrom. DeGrom's a really fun player to watch, and he has been dealing with some injuries right now. No, nothing like close to the IL, but it's still something to be concerned about. But he has just been phenomenal, and it sucks seeing him lose out on a 7-inning no-hitter the way he did, where the outfielders just could not spot the ball or decide on who was going to get it and became a double. That almost cost a run. But anyways, though, the Mets, they've been doing well. They lead the division by 3.5 games. Although their last 10, they are 4-6. While the Nationals are a hot 9-1 and have reached 500. So, don't sleep on them right now.
Don't sleep on Kyle Schwarber.
Oh, Schwarber, he has been red hot.
Monster.
In the last 2 weeks. Like, it's unbelievable. His average still isn't really good looking in the 240s, low 240s.
But he owns that leadoff spot.
10 home runs in the last 11 games, I think.
It's really good.
Yeah, he's been hot. Other than that, you got the Phillies 5 games back, 4-6 in the last 10. The Braves are 5.5 games back, 5-5 in their last 10. And bring up the rear, the mighty Miami Marlins, 2-8 in their last 10.
Yeah, it's a bummer about the Marlins. I feel
Why is it so much a bummer?
Well, weren't they doing pretty well last year? They made it to the wild card.
They took advantage of the short season. I don't know what's up with them this year. I mean, their division's just tough. I think that because the Mets are performing really well, and the Nationals are hot too. I don't know. They have a lot of bright spots too, so it's a little confusing.
Just like the Atlanta Braves.
But
a lot of bright spots, but
Miami's not out of it. They're in last place and 9.5 games out. There's still a lot of season left.
True.
Yeah, that is very true. And, you know, just as they took advantage of a short season, you know, they can take advantage of, like, the last few months or so.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Next, we have the Central Division in both leagues, and the city of Chicago is still ruling.
yes, despite La Russa, but their lead is not as big as it used to be. They're only 2 games up on the Cleveland Indians, who have definitely had one of the better, quieter seasons. I feel I feel like they get no coverage whatsoever, but they've been a good team. Being 10 games above 500 is not an easy feat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So White Sox are 4-6 in their last 10. Indians are 7-3, so they've been on their trail for a bit now. Royals, they're 33-40.
The up and down yo-yo Royals.
Yeah, I think they're just going to trend down and then have some up moments, but mainly just trend down.
Yeah, there's getting a little bit of space in the division.
Yeah, Tigers, they'll have their upsets every now and then. It feels like they do that every so often, but other than that, they just don't beat whoever they're supposed to,
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're
which is a
11,
lot of people.
they're 11 games below 500. They got 32 wins, which is a lot more I can say than Arizona.
Yeah.
But that's later on.
Then the Minnesota Twins, they're a really confusing team. Like, on paper, you think they could be really competitive, but it just does not translate. And that's always frustrating when you're an analyst or, you know, even just a fan too. They're all right there. The pieces are set up, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah. Any idea? I'm going to go back a little bit. Toronto. They've been playing. Where they've been playing in Florida.
They're in Buffalo.
Buffalo.
In Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, long way from Florida. When are they going to go back to the home field? Any idea?
We don't know that.
No, that's up to the
commissioner.
No, that's
Oh.
up to the Canadian government
Oh,
whether
yeah.
or not
That's
they
a team
want.
without a home run now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely got to be a bummer for them, but they're still doing pretty well. And you wonder if they possibly be leading the division, or would they be playing worse?
Yeah, who knows?
You wonder how they do with their actual crowd.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be interesting to go to a game there, because you can tell just looking at it, it doesn't really look like a whole stadium. It's more like for college or.
I think it's a minor league park, but
Okay, I thought
Yeah,
so.
it is minor
yeah,
league.
but I don't know.
I like to go to one there though. I do kind of like the atmosphere because it's different.
Yeah, we're going to go to a Double-A game in Stockton sometime this year, I think.
Oh yeah, I'd totally love to do that.
Well, getting back to the MLB, we got the National League Central with Chicago leading with, actually it's a tie with Milwaukee.
Yeah, both teams are 4-6 in their last 10, so it's not really like they're not sprinting to the finish right now.
But the Cubs no-hit the Dodgers. Thank you. Even if it's a combined no-hitter.
And
Which-
a no-hitter.
Yeah, also Bumgarner's counts, if that counts. Thank you.
Why? Okay.
Had to get that in there.
Yes, I know.
But I know you even agreed with it too, saying that his should count because
It
if
should.
a World Series and a short
I
season
don't think
counts,
hit should count, but I think most
This is the only
no-hitters.
one.
This is the only one.
Yeah, okay, well, Cincinnati Reds, we got in third place, 4 games out. They're 5-5 in their last 10. St. Louis Cardinals, 36-39. They're 6 games back with 4-6 out of the last 10. And bringing up the rear in the Central is the Pittsburgh Pirates, 14 games out, 4-6 out of their last 10.
I was wondering, like, wait, what did the Cardinals do to be under 500? Like, oh yeah, they got swept by the Reds. Wasn't it in 4-2?
The Cardinals are disappointing.
Yeah. They're usually like one of the most consistent teams. Like you always expect them
Well,
to
they got
compete.
Arenado, right?
Yeah.
Arenado and
You notice I
Goldschmidt.
said his name kind of right this time?
Somewhat, yes. My dad has such a hard time saying Arenado's name.
My mom does too.
It was pretty comical.
Yeah. Oh my God, we had like so many takes just saying the name.
I said his first name, and actually Steven said the last name.
I think you actually said it correctly when we were off air. So it was like, oh my God, why?
I don't think he's performed to their expectations.
Same for Goldschmidt. Yeah, Goldschmidt has become somewhat irrelevant.
Yeah, but I think what they used to say about him was that he would get hot when the weather gets hot. So I'm not sure.
Well,
Oh,
now
he might start to
he's
get
got
hot.
a good rest of the season to go because it will be getting hot.
And Pittsburgh is just
Ooh,
Pittsburgh. They
we
got like
expected that.
yeah. As I said, Pittsburgh is Pittsburgh.
But Adam Frazier has been a very bright spot for them.
Yeah, he's batting over 300, well over 300, I think.
He should be their all-star representative.
Now, does every team have to have an all-star? Because if so, the A's have to have Olsen
Yes,
there.
every
But
team.
that's the thing, though, is
he's
so many
gonna
people
get
are voting.
That's
Over
the
him. He's
voters.
only
The
like
players
fifth or fourth
players
right
get
now.
to vote as
Well,
well.
the managers also get to pick.
The manager pick, yeah.
Who is it? It's Kevin Cash for the American League, but he's gonna make the decision. I don't know how it can't be Olsen unless they pick a pitcher.
Bassett and Manaea are both good options as well. They both deserve a shot at it. It was funny seeing some people I don't think Murphy should be in the All-Star yet, but some of the people that were above him, they were batting well under 200, but sometimes they had maybe just one or two more home runs. So it's just the whole fan voting thing is a joke.
Olsen is the true All-Star.
The problem is also that the fans let MLB marketing decide for them on who they think. I see posts about this guy, so I assume he should be going. And the thing is, they don't post enough about Olsen.
That's true.
Olsen gets no credit, and he's batting over 300.
Marissa.
Yes.
What Giants deserve the All-Star nod?
Posey and Crawford. I can't understand how Javier Baez is in second place for shortstop position. It should be Crawford over
because
him.
you know why? The MLB posts they post him all the time.
Yeah,
so.
Baez. I mean, if you saw his base running mistake, I don't know how he can even be on the All-Star team at that point. Crawford's just better defensively. He's been more consistent this year. I don't know. And
he's reliable.
Yeah,
he's very
surprised
reliable.
He's 5 years younger or something. He's hitting hell of the ball, making great plays. He has been an All-Star.
Posey's leading the catcher votes for National League.
Yeah.
So.
Well, what about other positions? You have pitchers, right? Gosman.
Gosman, right? Gosman should definitely be on the team as well. He's just had an incredible season so far. His ERA is
It's really good.
Yeah, it's really good. I have it written down.
So let's finish up the divisions. Me and Steven are gonna talk about the West, and you can do the National League East.
National League West.
Wait, what?
Same thing. National League West.
Okay.
We got the Houston Astros leading the A's by 2 games.
And
Houston is 10-0 in their last 10 games.
They've won 11 games in a row, and they have earned some of them, but they're also playing so many scrubs.
But they're all earned, man. As much as I hate to say,
are they cheating again? I hope so. Just so they can get caught again, and then
I don't
actually
think
a proper punishment.
Why? So the same thing can happen? Nothing will happen?
So they can get a better punishment.
That won't happen.
But they catch a mid-season.
The A's are 6-4 of the last 10.
Yeah, they've lost to some teams that they should have beaten. They've let some games get away. And one problem that has been going on is that they need bullpen help. Besides Petit, Diekman, and Trevino, there really just isn't that much going for them. Guerrera is a decent guy to have in non-pressure scenarios.
Well, he's a long reliever, and there hasn't been any use for him.
Yeah, but Romo, he's spotty. If he gets on, get you an inning, but he also might allow some runs as well.
Oh yes, he will.
Luzardo,
he's an ex-Giant. Of course, he's gonna.
Luzardo was sent down, and it was just such a bummer watching him. He allowed a home run in 6 straight outings, and something is up with his pitch. He's got to work on that in AAA. And then you also got, hopefully Wendell will be able to come back soon. Rosenthal won't come back till August. They don't even know when in August he'll be able to come back. So you just hope that the bullpen could get some help soon, and that they should be a target for the trade deadline.
Which is?
July 31st, right? Isn't it always July 31st?
So.
And next up, we got the Seattle Mariners. They are 39-37, 8.5 games back, but 8-2 in their last 10. So they've been playing pretty well.
The up and down Seattle Mariners.
Yeah, they still deserve a lot of credit because I think a lot of people assumed that they were going to be a chump, I guess, in the season.
Mm-hmm.
So kudos to them. Then same thing for the Angels as well, even though they are 2 games below 500. I think they're going to hover around 500. They're going to be in it, be out of it constantly.
Until they get Trout back, They just got swept by the Giants. So.
But Ohtani pitched pretty well.
That was a duel.
Well, that game that he pitched, the Angels did everything possible to lose that game. They could have won it in the extra innings, but the batter that was up with the bases loaded swung at 2 balls around his eyes.
And didn't you disagree with the call too?
And I thought the call was bad at home plate. He looked safe. He got tagged around his ass, and his foot obviously went over home plate because he brought up that dirt. So, but what are you gonna do?
Last but also least, actually.
Yeah, very least.
You got the Texas Rangers, who are 20 games out of first place and have been 2-8 in their last 10 games.
And their two games were against us.
Yes, which is a bummer.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just really stink. They sometimes have some good offense, but that's it. Now, Marissa, would you like to carry on for the NL West?
All right. So the Giants, woohoo! They're 8-2 in their last 10. Obviously, they're in first place. They're just, I don't know. They just continue to surprise me. And then we got the Dodgers in second place. They're 4.5 back. They're 5-5 in their last 10, and they got no hit by the Cubs last night. Woohoo! I think overall they need to start playing better. I mean, as a Giants fan, I don't really care if they play better, but what they were projected to do or how they were projected to do in this division, they need to start playing better. Bellinger's back from his injury, but he looks like he's just swinging for the fences without any real, purpose. Yeah, thank you. And I don't know. They just have to start playing better. And then the Padres are 4.5 back as well, but they're in third place. They're 7-3 in their last 10. They came off that great series against the Dodgers and they swept them. And tonight they're playing the Diamondbacks. That should be a win. All of those should be wins for them, but you never know.
Diamondbacks might do something.
Maybe. And then the Rockies are in fourth place, 17.5 back, but they're 6-4 in their last 10, which is good for them. Right now they're tied with the Brewers, I think, in their game. And then finally in last place, the Diamondbacks. They're
28 games back.
Yeah, 1-9. They finally got their first win in, I don't know, maybe, I think 17 games it was.
Was it on the road?
No, at home against the Brewers.
They have the record still? Is that an ongoing record?
Yeah, they still haven't won a road game since Bumgarner's no-hitter. And then tonight...
Alleged no-hitter.
It's a no-hitter.
Okay.
And then tonight they're on the road again against the Padres, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good divisions still, though, just with those top 3 teams, but those 2 teams really do make them look bad.
The Rockies can be a spoiler, I think. Sometimes they can play really well.
They can play really well at home. It's just they suck away, that's what's really funny. The Diamondbacks got the record for most consecutive road losses, but they don't have the worst road record this year. That's the Rockies.
Wow.
So yeah, that just shows how bad they are. Like if they were just decent on the road, they would have a much better record.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Okay. We've been chomping on the bit to talk about this since Marissa got here in her giant shirt, no less. And Steven with his Battle of the Bay 89 World Series t-shirt. Yes, folks, the A's play the Giants in San Francisco this weekend.
Woohoo!
Yeah, there really wasn't that much hype for it. Just no one really talked about it until now. But it's still something that I really look forward to. And to go over the history of it a bit, it does kind of go back to their previous franchises, when the A's were in Philadelphia and the Giants were in New York, where they actually played each other in the World Series 3 times. So first the Giants won in 1905, 4-1. Then the A's won 1911 and 1913, 4-2, and then 4-1 respectively. Then as they went to the locations they're in now, Oakland and San Francisco, the A's won the 1989 World Series 4-0. Those are the only times
they didn't win a game in that series.
No.
Yes.
Oh, bummer.
But
not for me. I was talking about Marissa, her feelings.
Those are the only times they ever played each other before interleague play began in 1997, which honestly I was much later than I thought it started. I thought it started like in the early 80s or something.
No.
It's a bummer that they took so long to do something like that. So in 1997 it was a tie 2-2. Is that a good way to say it? Yeah. 1998, 2-2, 99, 3-3, and 2000, 3-3. In 2001, the Giants won the first regular season series. That was 4-2. Then 2002, A's won that 4-2. Then 2003 and 2004 were also ties at 6 games, 3 games each. Then 2005, A's won 4-2. 2006 was a tie. 2007, 5-1. A's, 2008, 4-2 A's, 2009, 5-1 Giants, 2010 and 11 were ties, 2012 Giants 4-2, 2013 and 14, A's 3-1. 2015, Giants 5-1. I remember that one pretty well too.
Was that the Bumgarner no DH series?
No, I don't think so. That was 2016, I think, or 2017 actually. It was one of those 2 years. But that was just an ugly series all around. A's were like, they barely lost. That was the year the A's lost so many games by 1 run. It was so frustrating. But they were still an awful team. The A's won in 2016. Then it was a tie in 2017. A's won 4-2 in 2018. Giants won 3-1 in 2019. That was a frustrating series as well because that was in the 2 games in Oakland. They had to wear the custom jerseys, with the names. And I like the idea of it. Like the first 2 times they did it was really fun, but the jerseys were just awful.
Yeah.
Especially the white ones. The white ones were just hideous to look at.
The Giants were all black, which looked okay.
Yeah, all black looks okay, but all white, it looks like it's a Southern church or something. But then I already mentioned 2019. Then 2020, the last time they faced each other, it was 5-1 A's. And so overall,
that was the games where they came back and scored all the runs in the 9th inning.
Yeah, like at least a couple times.
Yeah, 2 games in a row, I do believe.
Yeah, Canna did that. That's one thing that you're gonna be happy about is Canna is gonna be on the IL now, so he'll miss some time, and he usually dominates in San Francisco. So.
Oh really?
Yes, I think you know.
I don't think so.
Well, that was quite a thorough breakdown.
A significant bat flip occurred.
And what is the all-time record?
So regular season 69-61. So the A's can easily say nice to that. Postseason it is 13-7. Of course, then postseason series.
Let's talk about Oakland. What's the season record or the postseason record in Oakland?
Well, then it's 4-0.
Okay, I just wanted to hear that.
But postseason series 3-1.
Yeah, we ain't talking Philly.
But it's fun to mention though. And then overall,
not fun for me.
But we still won those.
Yeah. Okay.
Take the wins.
I like the 0. The 0 wins.
And then overall regular season and postseason 82-68. So
very nice.
It does favor the A's, and Giants do have some catching up to do.
How do you feel about the series?
This one's going to be much tougher than last year. I usually feel really confident every year about the A's, but
every year.
Yeah, that the A's will win.
You gotta feel confident.
Even in 15 and 16, I felt confident that they could beat.
After all, we are playing the Giants. You gotta be confident about
that. There's a lot of bragging rights to go into.
We might as well just change Arizona.
Not feel confident.
We might as well just change the Giants with Arizona Cardinals. I mean, not Arizona Cardinals.
We killed you guys in 16. What do you mean?
How do you feel about this series, Marissa?
I feel pretty good. I mean, the Giants just swept the Angels, so they're rolling with some momentum. They don't have Gosman in this series. Cueto starts tonight. But their starting pitching overall has just been really solid, and I think that's what's going to help them in this series.
Yes. So actually, we should do some position by position here to look at both of them. So should we start off with catchers?
Yes, we should always start with catchers.
Okay, so of course for
the
A's.
Why would you want to start with catchers, Marissa?
Because she knows she'll win. So for the A's, we got Sean Murphy. He's been having a decent year. His average isn't anything spectacular, 227.
Yeah, I know.
But it is better than where he was like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So he is trending upwards. 10 home runs, 39 RBIs, 782 OPS, 203 at bats. So not much more than Posey.
Didn't he hit into that triple play? Just had to bring that up.
Wow.
Sorry.
That
was just really sad. He shouldn't have swung 2-0 there.
He shouldn't have. The pitcher hadn't thrown a strike.
He threw one strike.
One strike, exactly.
And then he swung at it.
Take a pitch.
But anyways, go with your starting catcher.
Nice job, though, Marissa. I gotta tell you.
Thank you. My starting catcher only starts about half the time. Of course, it's Buster Posey. He's got a 322 average. However, only 180 at bats. He's got 12 home runs and 27 RBIs on the year and a 966 OPS. However, his last 7 games, he's 5 for 23 with 1 homer, 8 walks, 7 strikeouts.
Yeah, not too pretty.
He might get pretty.
It seemed like it, but it seemed like every time the Giants play, I hear he does something.
So that was just Posey, right?
Just Posey.
Okay, so then the backup catcher for the Giants, Aramis Garcia, he is...
The Giants?
No.
Well, he used to be for the Giants.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you did mention that, actually. So he's only had 69 at-bats. Average 217, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, and a 569 OPS. So his average, for a backup catcher, it's not really much to argue about because usually backup catchers, they tend to bat really low anyway.
But his average on the road is 357.
Yeah, I don't know how many at-bats he has on the road, but that's still impressive.
Yeah.
But his catching leaves a lot to be desired. His defense really isn't that good.
Which is surprising because he was also the backup for Posey, so you would think he would have learned a lot there.
No, he just doesn't.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't have a
Depends.
sponge.
If it was last year, somebody sat out and couldn't teach him.
He played for the Rangers last year, so it must have been from
okay,
that.
Okay. You got off with that one.
All right, so now your guys' backup catcher?
Yes, Kurt Casale. He has a 169 average, 1 homer, 11 RBIs, 537 OPS. His last 7, he's 7 for 20 with 2 walks. I just feel bad for him at times. I don't know. He feels like he just can't get a hit.
Because he could be crappy.
His catching's pretty good.
Yeah, he's a good defensive catcher.
Just his hitting
But
needs some work.
He's not being asked to be the starter. As long as he's just a backup guy,
but
then it makes his job
backing
easier.
up half the time. That's the problem.
Yeah. But they're still winning. So right now it doesn't make a difference.
True.
Not yet.
It'll be
Bruce
believe me.
Oh.
It'll be just like what's your center fielder's name?
Which we don't have a designated center fielder.
Oh, the guy who's making the catches.
Is Tremsky?
Talkman?
Oh, Toffman.
Yeah.
They put him in left field.
Yeah, he's left field.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Nobody really has a designated position in the outfield except for Yastrzemski.
Because he's not hitting and he's doing okay defensively, but the bottom line is Giants are winning. So until they start losing and they lose because these guys aren't hitting, that's when they'll really stand out at their lack of hitting.
Yeah.
But right now, they're winning.
Yeah, if I was looking at pretty much everybody in the lineup's last 7 game stats, and they're all pretty bad. But like you said, their pitching and their defense, that's what they're winning, and so their hitting doesn't really matter right now.
Yeah, it's almost, you can almost equate that with Elvis Andrews when he was batting in the 140s or 130s, and the A's were still winning. You can that's okay. The A's are still winning, so you can bat bad. So, but if it comes down to us starting to lose because he doesn't get key hits.
So some breaking news, actually. Posey has been scratched with low back tightness.
My whole night's ruined. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, wow. So that's definitely shocking right there. That's going to be a big
breaking
difference. Okay, the table actually could detect that. I hope that's not too loud.
God. That's so sad.
Yeah.
Just cancel the whole series. We don't even...
Give us the trophy?
Give us a trophy.
That trophy is meaningless. You won.
What?
I think you're
It's only meaningless because you don't have a chance to get it.
They've only held
had
it once. We've had it twice.
Okay.
So let's go over the infield now.
First base.
Yeah, so
let's not do that.
Matt Olson. So Matt Olson, he's having an all-star year. He should be the A's all-star, if there's no one else. 302, he's batting 20 home runs, 53 RBIs, 2 stolen bases. You don't really equate stolen bases with him.
No, truck. He's a truck.
OPS is 988. He is just having a career year, a breakout year. Home runs, I would like to see some more, but it's still great.
Yeah, he's not striking out as much. He's been a revelation at bat this year.
Yeah.
As usual, his defense is solid. So
I'll just go over the rest of the infield, actually, because it's much easier to just go down the infield, and then you can go over...
I do have to give it to Matt Olson. He is a really great player. I just have
thank you, Marissa.
Yeah.
Posey's a good player, just he doesn't have the same back as Murphy's. I'm sorry. Oh, his back tightness.
What?
Isn't that what it is? That's what he has, lower back tightness.
Did you say Murphy?
No, I was saying, because Murphy doesn't have that, Posey. I don't know.
He's trying to give you a little dig.
I'm trying to be mean.
No, I didn't even understand it.
Yeah. You don't have to try to be mean, Steven. You're a mean individual.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I think I need to step away from this podcast and evaluate my life.
Goodbye.
Steven is canceled. But anyway, so you got Mitch Moreland. He really hasn't been getting that much playing time, and it's not like he's been asked to do much either. Batting .230, so not too great. 5 home runs, 20 RBIs, 647 OPS. I think he's been really unlucky. He's been smoking the ball a lot.
Yeah, solid contact all year long.
It either just goes right at the outfielder or they just make a terrific play on him. It's a bummer because it really feels like he's doing everything.
You know what they say?
What?
That's baseball.
Yep. Then Tony Kemp, the biggest surprise offensively this year. And
defensively.
Well, we already knew he was a good defender, I think.
But he's just really good.
Yeah, he is batting .292, 137 at bat, so that's not a lot, but he's still batting .292, 4 home runs, 17 RBIs, 4 stolen bases, OPS of .875. It is great to have him.
He has been a spark plug of huge proportion. His hitting, fielding, just all-out hustle.
Oh, yeah, and it looks like he loves being on the A's. I hope,
he does.
And I hope that we can keep him for a good price.
It's infectious.
Yes. And he's been really pivotal as well.
Yeah.
He could put him in many situations. Jed Lowry, he's definitely cooled off a bit, and that's what happens to him a lot. Remember in 2018, he also had that as well, where he played well every now and then he would cool off.
But he's another one who always makes good contact.
He's batting .242, 6 home runs, 33 RBIs, and a .699 OPS. Now, he's definitely a plug-and-play guy. I don't know if he's playing today or not, because I know Kemp will... No, yeah, he will be. He'll be at second. Kemp will be at left field. But he's been doing pretty well. Then Machine, he just got called up. It's a really similar thing with Franklin Barreto, where he bats really well in AAA. Then once you bring him up, he just really doesn't do a whole lot.
Well, that's the life of minor leaguer. You know, that's why they stay in the minor leagues for so long, because they can't hit the big league pitching.
Yeah. Matt Chapman, he's someone who had a lot of he struggled a lot. You know, he just really could not hit the fastball at all. You know,
you said it might be the hip still, it might be bothering him. Are you finally getting over that? Is that why he's hitting the ball so well now?
Yeah, he's been hitting the ball really well. If you look at his last 15 games, he's batting .293. Yeah, he's got 9 home runs, 36 RBIs. He's been playing a lot better. He had a really good series in Texas. Also played pretty well in New York as well.
What's Elvis's last 15?
I will look at that right now as he is next up. So, yeah, credit to Chapman for working on his swing. Like I said, he was really bad for quite some time, and so to see him improve on that is really nice. But anyways, for Andrus, he's batting .229, only 16 RBIs. So either he's just not being put in any good situations, or he's just not capitalizing.
Well, he's always batting. He's batting low in the batting order.
Yeah. So in his last 30 games, he is batting .303.
Wow.
In his last 30, last 15 .286, and last 7 also .286.
That's good.
I just want to see him hit a home run.
Yeah, he came close last week, wasn't it? Last week he almost.
Yeah, but it was in New York.
Yeah.
It was in New York,
but he didn't.
Or somewhere else. He
came
really close.
He'll hit one.
Yeah, but anyways, really happy that he's been playing much better than he used to. Then in the okay, so now you're infield.
All right. Well, Brandon Belt was just placed on the IL about 20 minutes ago, but I'll talk about him anyway.
Breaking news.
So, Belt, he's got a .253 average with 11 homers, 28 RBIs, and .875 OPS. In his last 7, he's 6 for 29 with 11 strikeouts. Ouch. But I think defensively he can be compared to Olsen, however, not offensively. And then we have Wilmer Flores. I mean, they have him written down as a second baseman, but he's also played third this year and first. So I guess a utility guy. Yeah.
Utility guy.
He's got a .261 average, 7 homers, 24 RBIs. His last 7, he's 9 for 18 with 4 homers, 1 strikeout. He doesn't play enough for me. I think that he should be in the lineup more often, especially because I think he had home runs maybe 2 or 3 games in a row, and then they sat him the next day, which I didn't understand, but whatever. And then Donovan Solano, he's hitting .272 with 2 homers and 10 RBIs, or 16 RBIs. Sorry, couldn't read that. He just hasn't really hit his stride this year compared to last year, where I think he was their silver slugger. He was just so great for them. He just hasn't gotten hot this year. In his last 7, he's 8 for 27 with 9 Ks. And then Brandon Crawford, who's just had an incredible year. He's hitting .254 with 16 homers, 49 RBIs, and .878 OPS. But in his last 7, he's 6 for 26 with 1 homer and 7 strikeouts. So he's hit a little bit of a skid, but I think he'll bounce back tonight against the A's.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And then Mauricio Dubon, he's hitting .237 with 5 homers and 20 RBIs. He's only 6 for 17 in his last 7 games with 1 homer and 5 strikeouts.
Wait, 6 for 17?
He's playing for Longoria?
Yes, because Longoria, who was hitting .280 this year with 9 homers, is on the IL. I have no idea when he's coming back, but I think the Giants need him. I'm not really sold on Dubon as an infielder. He played third yesterday or the day before. So, but
Wait, 6 for 17, you said?
yes, 6 for 17.
Isn't that really good? Batting wise?
No, it's not good enough.
No. Ooh, dang. High expectations.
I have higher expectations for him. I don't know. I just feel like sometimes he just doesn't know what he's doing out there.
6 for 17 is 352.
I know, but that's the last 7 games. But overall this year, I just don't think he's played well enough. I also have to add Darren Ruff in there. I mean, technically he's listed as an outfielder, but tonight he's playing first. He's hitting .253 with 6 home runs, 15 RBIs. His last 7, he's 4 for 15 with 6 strikeouts. I don't know. I mean, he was really hot for a minute, and then he got hurt. He pulled his hamstring, and he's just starting to get back. This is his 2nd game back, I think.
Well, the Giants pretty much have had the injury bug all year, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think they are the oldest team in the entire league, but
Well, if you add Posey in there, that adds them up at least 2 years per player.
It is a lot of old guys there.
Yeah, I mean, so you can expect a lot of injuries for them, but I mean they've done well considering.
Oh yeah, they're winning.
Yeah.
Who's has the best record in the National League?
Oh, the Giants.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you're doing good. You're
What
doing
about-
good, kid, as they say.
In the American League.
No. You don't have about that.
Those are the infielders.
Okay, so now the outfield, we got Chad Pinder. So he can do both infield and outfield, but he's listed as an outfielder on the app. He's had a weird season. He seemed like he was carrying the A's in the first few games of the season, when they were so bad. And then since then, he just really hasn't really shown to be that reliable in general. He can't hit well with runners in scoring position, which he has always struggled with in his career. He used to have some pop in his swing, but that's not really there either. It's kind of frustrating.
As a team, the A's have one of the better averages with runners in scoring positions this year.
Yeah, so definitely holding him back is Pinder, at least in some way, because he doesn't get that much playing time anyway. But then you got Sky Bolt. He's filling in for Piscotty, and he was filling in for Laureano, but now he's also got to fill in for Canamore. You got to wonder...
Yeah, he's going to get some at-bats. He can prove himself.
I got to wonder why he's there, not Luis Barrera. They only gave him 5 at-bats, and he got 1 hit in them, so it's still higher than what Bolt's doing, and I just don't really get it.
Bolt got 2 hits yesterday, didn't he?
Yeah, he's had 3 hits in the last 2 games. So, but I just don't know why they're not giving Barrera more of a chance. They gave Barrero and Machine lots of chances. I don't know why Barrera, who looked somewhat decent, isn't getting more chances. It's kind of confusing for me. But Ramon Laureano, he's great. He's batting over 260, 13 home runs, great in the outfield. I wish he played center more. The whole thing with having him in right field I'm not a big fan of. But he's playing great.
I think the only reason why they have him there because they want to give Bolt a shot at center.
Yeah, and then you got
or they could have him there so Laureano may not, because he went out with a groin injury, right?
Yeah, so maybe he just doesn't have to cover as much.
Yeah, I think that's honestly the reason why.
And then you got Seth Brown, who I feel like the A's must have lost some faith in him, because to have Bolt play over him as much as they are, something's got to be wrong.
Well, Brown is batting what?
He's like in the 190s.
Yeah, that's why.
And Bolt's 143.
So if you don't take advantage of the opportunity you get, you will be sitting.
Yeah. But if Bolt keeps struggling, though, then you might as well just keep Brown in.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Like I said, they're all going to get opportunities now with the injuries, so.
So now your turn?
All right, so Alex Dickerson, who just got back from the IL as well. This is, I think, his 2nd game. He's hitting .237 with 6 homers and 22 RBIs. He is someone, too, that hasn't just gotten hot this year. I don't think he's had enough time to get hot because he's been injured at least 3 times. And then Darren Ruff, who I talked about earlier, is still listed as an outfielder, but I don't know, that just depends. And then Mike Tauchman.
Boy, you laugh after you say his name?
He's hitting .173, 4 home runs, 566 OPS. His last 7, he's 1 for 15 with 8 strikeouts. However, 1 home run that came against the Angels the other day. It was a 3-run homer.
Oh, that's big.
I don't know. No, he has 0 walks, too. He's just not doing enough for me. I mean, I know defensively he's saved 2 games, and that's great, yeah. But, I mean, Farhan, I think, went on to say that he had been eyeing Tauchman for a really long time, and I just don't understand why. He just hasn't produced enough, I feel like. And then Steven Duggar, who's someone who's been fighting for his spot the last couple years. I'm glad he's finally back. He's hitting .325 with 6 homers, 22 RBIs, 5 stolen bases. In his last 7, he's 10 for 21 with 1 homer, 2 strikeouts, and 2 stolen bases.
Wow, impressive.
Yeah. I think he should be the everyday center fielder, but he's not starting tonight.
Wow. Okay, now this has to my next little tidbit here or whatever we're going to talk about is, Marissa, last year you did not like the manager at all. Mm-hmm. Have you changed your opinion?
No. No.
Wow.
Even if he wins you a World Series.
That's very...
So they're winning basically despite him.
I mean, no, I don't think so. I mean, I think...
Just doesn't want to give him credit.
Yeah, that too. No, I just don't like a lot of the decisions he makes on the field. Like, when was it? I mean, it didn't really matter because they still beat the Diamondbacks, but he decided to use an opener instead of starting Sammy Long. And the Diamondbacks scored like maybe 5 runs in the first inning.
The guy didn't even get an out.
Yeah. Just some of the decisions that he
makes.
makes.
But they still won the game.
That's true.
It was a big comeback, and it was his Diamondbacks. If it was another
and
team,
it was the Diamondbacks, so
it wouldn't be so
didn't
forgiving.
count.
Yeah, but, I mean, just some of the decisions that he makes. And even if we make the postseason, I just have to see how he's going to do. He's never managed a postseason game before. The atmosphere and just the game situations are a lot different. I don't know. I'm still not sold on him.
Would you like to give us a grade? His managing grade this year?
This
so
year?
far, yeah.
Oh, I have to give him B plus. B plus.
B plus. And you wow.
Even if I don't like him, I do have to give him credit for the way that they've been able to win despite their injuries, and they've just shocked a lot of people, including myself. I did not have high expectations.
Shocked the baseball world.
Yeah, but so tonight their starting center fielder is Austin Slater. I just don't understand why they're going with him. He has 5 strikeouts in his last 7 games. He's only 3 for 15, 1 RBI. I just don't understand why he's still around. I think they came out with something that said that he has the most strikeouts per his at-bats out of anybody on the team. I don't know. Those kinds of decisions don't make sense to me. And then our last outfielder, Mike Yastrzemski, he's hitting .233 with 10 homers, 27 RBIs, and .824 OPS. He's 8 for 31 in his last 7 games with 3 homers, 3 walks, and 6 strikeouts. He's done okay. I mean, I don't think he's done as well as he did last year.
No, not nearly as well.
No, and I just don't think... I had higher expectations for him. Maybe the other teams are starting to figure him out and figuring out how to pitch him, but I hope he turns it on soon.
Well, I feel like he has been playing better lately, though. He's been hitting more home runs.
The one against the Diamondbacks, the Grand Slam.
That helps.
Yeah, but he's just been striking out a lot more this year and popping things up. Everything seems to be a pop-up coming off his bat, but we'll see.
And Steven, how do you feel Melvin's doing this year?
I still think he's doing pretty well. The team was well set up, especially for the bullpen, to do well, and so it's kind of hard to really blame Melvin.
We do need another reliever.
I blame Melvin
because Petit he's pitched the most innings, I think, or like at least like he's had the most appearances in the MLB.
The last 3 years, I think.
Yeah, so you got to worry about overworking him, And so I feel like his hands are kind of tied on who he has to put in. Because, Diekman, he also gets a lot of work in. Trevino, I feel like he should have more appearances. Trevino should.
Yeah, well, they were going with Diekman for a while there, and we were thinking, is Trevino hurt? But he wasn't hurt. He just chose not to use him.
Yeah, so it's pretty weird overall. But some guys really didn't. Kolarek, he really failed to meet expectations.
Kolarek was a wreck.
Yeah, that was a really disappointing signing. Then Rosenthal went to surgery. You can't really blame Melvin for.
We're getting him back in August.
Yeah,
It's Melvin's fault.
Melvin's
What? No, just kidding. I like Bob Melvin.
It's going to change a lot when we get Rosenthal back. Healthy.
I give him a B. There's still some stuff that I disagree with, but we still have the record we have, and he's definitely helped with that.
Yeah.
And
he signed an extension, a 1-year extension.
Good for him.
So we should probably try to speed things up with this now because we're at around 50 minutes.
No,
Dude,
the
time means
listeners
nothing.
like to listen.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Time means nothing.
It's an extra long episode.
Okay, so first up, we'll go with the rotation. So Chris Bassett, he's the first guy. So his ERA is 3.25, 8-2 record, 99 and 2/3 of an innings pitched, 102 strikeouts, and a WHIP of 1.06. And he's done that in 16 games. He has been really phenomenal this year, and I really hope that he gets some consideration for the All-Star game.
Yeah, he's been a rock, for sure.
So then next up, we got Sean Manaea, who will be pitching tonight against the Giants to lead off the series.
He's Samoan, isn't he?
Yes, yes he is. Just to make sure. 6-3, 3.01 ERA, 86 and 2/3 innings pitched, 89 strikeouts, and a WHIP of 1.21. He has been really good this year.
Do you guys know what the story is behind his green glove?
No.
I'm just asking because every time he's on TV, my dad points that out, and he's always wondering what's going on with that. Like, he likes the glove, but he wants to know what's the story behind it.
No, we will look into it though.
Yeah, I just thought even like Dodger pitchers, they tend to have really blue gloves as well. I thought it was something that every pitcher did, that they tend to have a team associated glove.
I can make something up.
Sean Manaea, if you're listening,
what's
the story?
DM me, please.
Yeah.
Send me a message, please. Thank you.
He's like, no.
So the next up, we got Frankie Montas. He has definitely been up and down all year. His ERA isn't pretty at 4.79. 7-7 record though.
And he'll be pitching Saturday.
82 and 2/3 innings pitched and 87 strikeouts. WHIP of 1.35. I'm not a big fan of him this year. Like I said, his ERA is not pretty at all, but his record is there, so that means he does get a lot of support when he needs it. And I don't know. It just sometimes he looks really good. Like he'll get back to how he used to be. And other days he just doesn't look like he's playing well.
I don't think his head's not in the game. He thinks he's too good. And I've said this before. He is a good pitcher, but he can be so much better.
And then we got who would be after that? Is it Cole Irvin or?
I think it's Irving.
Irvin. Either way, we'll figure out who. I don't know why my mind is like stuck right now, but Irvin, he's got a decent ERA at 3.98. That's pretty decent, but his record is 5-7, so he just must not get a lot of support or just untimely moments where he doesn't do well at the last moment.
He's getting DeGrom.
Well, he has the habit. The last 3 or 4 games he's pitched, he's thrown a ton of strikes. Where we were at the game where he had out of 37 pitches, 29 of them were strikes. Remember that? And then next thing you know, he just falls apart.
Yeah. Well, he throws a lot in the zone. He doesn't have that many chase pitches. That's the thing. He's only got 60 strikeouts this year. That's not a lot. And yeah, he doesn't really throw much to make you whiff.
But considering he wasn't even supposed to be not in the organization, but on the team, he's done good.
Better than Mike Fiers.
Where's Mike Fiers, by the way?
Oh, he's another setback with his injury.
I don't even see him coming back this year.
No, I don't think next year either.
Well,
So we got the rookie.
Yeah, James Caprillion. He has been the best surprise pitching wise. So we'll rhyme there. His ERA is 2.86, 4-1 record, 46 strikeouts. So he's already like getting close to Irving right there with strikeouts, and he's barely started. 44 innings pitched, and a whip of 111. He has been really good. Only 27 years old, and I love what I see from him. He just seems to have some really good command on him, and he can go the distance. He has a really good job at maintaining his pitch count. And
he's very good with the runners on base. He clamps down.
That is very true. So now the starters for the San Francisco Giants.
All right. So first up is the ace and should be all-star Kevin Gausman. He's 8-1 with a 1.49 ERA, 96.2 innings pitched, and 112 strikeouts. He has been incredible this year. I never expected this from him. I thought he would be, pretty good, but he's just had an incredible year.
What were his numbers last year? Do you have any idea?
Last year he had a 3.62 ERA in 12 games. He had how many strikeouts? Okay, it's not talking about strikeouts. 79 strikeouts.
What was his record last year in 12 games?
He was 3-3 last year, so 500.
Not bad, shortened season.
Mm-hmm. He's just been really good. And then we have Anthony DeSclafani next. He's 8-2 with a 2.77 ERA, 87.2 innings pitched, and 80 strikeouts. He's another guy that's really surprised me. I didn't think he was going to do that well this year, but he's been great too.
That is a great 1-2 punch.
Mm-hmm.
That's 16-3 record between the top two starting pitchers. That's really good.
And both ERAs under 3, so that's really good. And then Johnny Cueto, who goes tonight for the Giants, he's 5-3 with a 4.05 ERA, 60 innings pitched, and 47 strikeouts. I mean, I'm a huge Johnny Cueto fan, but I think his age is just catching up to him. He's also had a couple injuries this year and the previous years, so he's still decent. He's just not as lights out as he used to be.
Aren't we all?
And then Alex Wood, he's 6-3 with a 4.09 ERA, with 66 innings pitched and 65 strikeouts. He's been a pretty decent pickup from the Dodgers. The last couple starts, he's had a couple issues. I don't know if it was the sticky stuff or just overall not having a good feel. But I think maybe the rest of the season he'll start winning again. He'll do better. And then the final guy in the rotation for now, because Webb was originally the 5th guy, now it's Sammy Long. He's 1-0 with a 4.20 ERA with 15 innings pitched and 16 strikeouts. He made his debut in Texas against the Rangers, and he had maybe 4 or 5 no-hit innings, although against Texas. But he's done okay so far.
Bright future.
Yeah, and he will pitch against the A's on Sunday, so we'll see how he does.
Okay. Thank you, Marissa.
Thank you. Now to the bullpen, so I'm just going to get this one out of the way because he's only played one game. Domingo Acevedo, so he was a pretty good prospect. He pitched in one game, one inning, got a strikeout, and allowed 1 hit. So, I bet he'll get some more playing time soon. But, that's all I pretty much have to say about him. But it does seem like he played pretty well in AAA, so got to hope for the best that he might earn a role later on and can help the bullpen out. Then you got Cam Bedrosian. You only hear his name in games that are either too far gone or no arms are left. He's pitched in 14 games, ERA of 5.02, 14 in the 3rd innings pitched, 15 strikeouts, and a whip of 188.
Woo, that's high.
Yeah. Then you got Jake Diekman. He's been pretty well up and down, but mostly pretty good. 313, 2-1. 31 and 2/3 innings pitched, 44 strikeouts, and a whip of 126. So overall, not bad. He's had some bad moments,
Yeah, he had a nice streak going there for a while.
He did really have a really nice streak.
4 or 5 game streak where he did really well.
He's had some really dominant moments too, where his fastball and slider are just there. But overall, pretty good season for him. Guerrera, the Deolis Guerrera. He doesn't really get that much playing time either. I feel like he should,
He's a long reliever, that's why.
But still, though, I feel like you just put him in more just to save up other people's arms.
I agree.
because he's still pitching with a 3.08 ERA, only 26 and a third innings pitched, 25 strikeouts, and his WHIP is under 1. It's 0.87.
Yeah, well, he pitched a couple days ago.
Yeah.
And that's been his only appearance in June.
Yeah.
And for you not aware of the date, it's June 25th today. So
he needs more playing time.
Yeah.
And then you got Yusmeiro Petit. He's definitely showed his age a little bit more than last year. He's had some moments where he gets raked from the get-go. There was that one game we went to against Seattle where
they hit everything hard.
Yeah. He had that against Texas as well, where we had a 3-2 lead, and he immediately gave it back in like 3 pitches. It was awful.
3 pitches exactly.
Yeah. So, he's still a reliable guy, but, Melvin just needs to learn to not put him in as much. Like I said, Melvin isn't perfect. He's a good manager, but things like that are things that I would like to see him improve on. Sergio Romo, a former Giant. So he's pitching with a 5.04 ERA. His WHIP isn't that bad at 136. That's not, too bad. Walk hits innings.
He worries me. He worries me every time he's out there.
24 strikeouts in 25 innings pitched. So he's not terrible, but he's not someone that you should really put your faith in a whole lot. Bert Smith, he's had a bit of a disappointing year. He was lights out last year for the A's before he got injured against the Giants, actually. But his ERA is 5.5, 1 win, no losses, 21 and a third innings pitched, 17 strikeouts, and a WHIP of 127. So, I'd like to see more from him. And then last but not least, certainly, Lou Trevino. He is pitching with an ERA of something that hasn't loaded on my screen yet, 2.04. His win and loss is 3-2, 35 and a third innings pitched, 31 strikeouts, and a WHIP of 1.1.
Very good.
Really good year, and he's been thrusted
he needed to bounce back.
Yeah, he's always been inconsistent, like in 2019 and 2020, but this year he's been put in a tough situation, and he's handled it very nicely. And, when Rosenthal's gone, he might be our full-time closer.
I think so.
Yeah, he's definitely earned a lot of consideration at the very least. And now, your turn.
So, first up is John Brebbia. He's pretty new. He's only pitched in 2 innings, and he's got 1 strikeout. I don't really have much to say about him because he still has a lot to show for. And then next is Harleen Garcia. He's got a 3.65 ERA with 24.2 innings pitched and 30 strikeouts. He's been okay this year. I think it was against the Phillies he gave up a big home run, but I need to see a little bit more from him as well. And then Dominic Leone, he's got a 1.54 ERA with 11.2 innings pitched and 14 strikeouts. I think he's probably been their most reliable reliever this year, so hopefully he keeps it up. And then Zach Littell, he's got a 3.27 ERA, 22 innings pitched, 17 strikeouts. I mean, he's done okay. I think overall the Giants' starting pitching they've gone the distance, so these relievers haven't been used too much this year. Sometimes for matchups, Kepler will put them in, which I don't know. Don't burn your bullpen. And then Jose Alvarez, another guy that's like a middle relief guy. He's got a 3.38 ERA and 17 strikeouts. Again, he's been okay. And then the last 2 guys are interesting, Jake McGee and Tyler Rogers, because they still haven't established who's the closer because they seem to flip-flop every week. Jake McGee, in 32 games, he's 2-2. Is that a win-loss record? Anyway.
It should be.
He's got a 3.26 ERA. He's 14 for 16 in save opportunities.
Good.
Yeah, so he's been pretty good, but there's been a couple times that he's blown it and it's been pretty bad. I think the main thing for him is that he just throws straight fastballs.
Wasn't his velocity, too, was down as well?
Mm-hmm.
There was a stretch where his velocity was down, but they still kept putting him in, and they were just raking it.
And even if you throw hard fastballs, guys can hit fastballs. But I think for now he's going to be the closer. I'm not really sure because, again, it flip-flops. And then the other closer was Tyler Rogers. In 35 games, he's got a 1 .47 ERA, and he's 9 for 13 in save opportunities. So he's done pretty well this year too. He's got that funky sidearm delivery that seems to mess with hitters. And if he's not the closer, he's usually the 8th inning guy. Same thing with McGee. If he's not the closer, he's the 8th inning guy. I don't know. I just wish they would establish somebody as a closer and stick with it. But I think if the Giants are going to want to go far in the playoffs, they're going to have to get a real closer.
Oh, which one do you prefer out of the two?
I don't know, because McGee...
14 out of 16 ain't bad.
Yeah, but he also just throws straight fastballs, and good hitters will jump on that. And Rogers has that funky delivery, but I think hitters are starting to pick up on that. So, I mean, I guess I would go with McGee. He's more established, but I think they're going to have to pick somebody up.
Very good.
Yeah, very good. So, yeah, we do look forward to this series very much. It's going to start pretty soon. Yeah, we hope it's going to be a good one. Of course, you know, me and my dad.
A good one in our favor,
yes.
No,
Giants' favor.
I hope Posey comes back.
So, are we going to have a little wager here between you two?
I don't know. I'm okay with that.
Okay, what?
I don't know what wager. I was maybe like the only thing I could think was maybe like something fantasy football related, like what you call it, like whoever ends up with the better pick it would have to be whoever wins or something. I don't know. I really can't think of it.
Well, just think about it. You have 20 minutes.
20
okay. But anyways though, talk a little bit about football. So I got a new article. It should come out soon. So it's talking about any 3 rookies that should or can be starters on day 1 for the Raiders. And so the first 2 were pretty easy. Alex Leatherwood, the tackle drafted in the first round, 17th overall from Alabama. Now, of course, people weren't a fan of him being drafted, and I understand why, because there were other linemen that were better and could have been drafted at his spot, but the Raiders, you know, they reach a lot, and that's been a trend for the last few years with Gruden. But he is put there for a reason, and he's going to have to start. Unless he gets injured, he'll be starting on day 1. And with Tom Cable as the offensive line coach, he's been doing a pretty good job at training guys up, so I want to give him some faith. But then next up, you got Trayvon Moehrig, who, you know, complete opposite. He was really hyped up as we drafted him, and a lot of people do love having someone like him, a true safety that can play coverage and let Abram, you know, stay more in the box and cover the run. He should be a starter on day 1, and I really look forward to him.
And I'm going to stop you right there, because right now you were preventing the listeners from going to Bleacher Report and actually reading your article. So what you should do is let's keep it. Let's make them go to Bleacher Report. And what is the headline?
Well, it's not out yet.
What is it supposed to be?
Well, it's 3 rookies that should be starters on day 1.
And when is this might come out?
Possibly tomorrow.
What date is?
I could put the link in the description, and I could tell
June
them.
26th.
June 26th.
Yes.
So we're going to keep away a little bit of the information from you, because we want you to actually go there to support Steven's writing.
Okay. Yeah.
Make sure you leave it 5 stars.
None. No stars. It's trash.
Anyway, that's the football news.
Yeah. Not really a whole lot else to share. Actually, there was the one thing which I don't really want to talk about, but you know.
What about the Raiders? They made headlines.
Oh yeah, actually that too. That one I will want to talk about. I hope people weren't listening and thinking like, Steven is homophobic. No, the Raiders have the first openly active gay NFL player, Carl Nassib. He came out just recently. Very proud of him, and his teammates have shown a lot of support as well. Mark Davis actually made a decent statement about it. I don't remember it, but I read it. I was like, is that really him? Like, part of me was thinking, like, maybe he just had someone like that for him. So someone wrote that. Well, but anyways, though, it does show how much of a trailblazing organization the Raiders have been. You know, first black head coach, first female CEO,
executive.
Yeah, female executive, first gay NFL player, and first Hispanic head coach, and I think quarterback too, I believe, with Tom Flores. Super Bowl winning one as well. They've done a lot. They made a lot of progress in the NFL. You know, no matter what you think of the Davis family, or you know,
now with their defense.
Oh.
Wow. Whose fault is that? Oh, no. Not going to talk about whose fault that. Oh. But anyways, of course, some people had to speculate about, what does Derek Carr think of it because they know he's a church guy. It's like, I bet he has something to say about it. And then he says, you know what, I love everyone on the roster the same, and, I hope we can win a championship together. And, of course, some people are like, you know what, he shouldn't have said anything. It's like, what do you want? it's like at this point, like, just block it.
Damned if you do and damned if you don't.
Yeah. Exactly, and then speaking of, so the thing I didn't really want to talk about, but might as well since I brought it up, is the I told you about it, the Shop episode with Tom Brady. I didn't watch it, but they talked about how he had some stuff to say about a team, his free agency, and that there was a team he wanted to go to, or a team that wanted him, and they stopped at the last moment, and he's like, "Wait, you're gonna keep that mother effer?" And he didn't say who it was or who the team was as well. And some people were like, is it the Raiders and all that? Because
no.
I don't
It's
think
not the
so.
Raiders.
I think it was the 49ers or the Chicago Bears, because both those teams needed a quarterback and they still didn't get one because they were really, really well set up all around. And of course the Buccaneers, I called them like well over a month before he went there, because it's like they're a quarterback away. They have a great defense, great weapons. Why not go there? And I just don't see why he would want to go to the Raiders. They have an awful defense. Their coaching isn't that great. There's a lot wrong with the organization. So why? So I just don't get it. If he wanted to go there, then okay. But why?
I don't think
he got his ring. And I still don't think he would have made that much of a difference. Maybe one more win. Maybe. But that's it.
Yeah.
But either way, enough about that though. Anything else to talk about?
No, we covered a lot.
Yeah. One last thing. I hope we can talk more about fantasy football later on when the season starts to go underway.
Would I win again?
No. But anyways, though, I look forward to that. Maybe we can have a league specifically for this podcast. Get some other people in and do maybe a broadcast of our draft and all that. Something like that, and cover how we do week by week. I'd really like that. I think that would be really fun and give us something else to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyways, hope you guys enjoyed listening to this. Does anyone else want to say anything?
Good night, everybody.
Go Giants. Good night.
Go A's. Good night.